Good afternoon, folks, listeners, TV viewers, Comcast Channel 19. Good afternoon. I missed y'all last week. I had Susanna in here last week covering for us. As a matter of fact, Susanna does a great job. She is very passionate about what she does. She is an entertainer, and we'll talk about that in a moment. She actually teaches yoga. DeliciousYoga.com, DeliciousYoga.net. Let's get that right. DeliciousYoga.net. My name is Larry Kazi. I'm with Monterey Hypnosis Center. And I'm here today to give you tools and tips that you can write down, names and numbers and contacts, on how to enhance your life. You can write these down, put them on the wall, so that when you need help, you can actually go and get them off the wall. So we call this off the wall. We probably should have occasionally call it off the hook. And we never know what might happen today. None of this is scripted. We're all just talking from our hearts and our passions and sharing with you things to enhance your life. Now, if you have any questions after the show and you want to reach any of the contacts we talk about, you can call us at 372-2929, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have live people answering the phone, and you can get your message across, and I will get back to you shortly thereafter. Now, back to Susanna for a moment, because she really helped me out last week. Her phone number is 239-2594, and we're going to cover that again in just a moment, because at 105, we have the radio, KNRY 1240, joining us. So I've been asked to do this process again, and we'll do it real quick because they're going to come on in a couple of minutes. I've been asked, two people called me actually. Two of the viewers called me and asked me to do this process again, which I can't do while people are driving the car. Potentially, they could lose their attention. So for a moment, just follow along. This is an NLP process that is very quick and easy. And if it helps one of you enhance your lives, it's worth doing it, right? That's why we're here. So just imagine for a moment, follow along for a moment. Imagine that you have incidences in the past, present, or even future to come yet. Incidences, people, persons, places, or things that actually, when you think about them, they draw your energy down. They take you into a lower level of where you maybe feel uncomfortable and kind of drained out. And what I'd like to have you do is I'd like to have you imagine that you're on a stage in a theater. And out in the theater in front of you is each and every one of these persons, places, incidences that drain your energy out. Now, what we're going to do is imagine bringing one of them on stage. Right in front of you. Bring them there now. Just imagine. And imagine an umbilical cord from your belly right to theirs. And as you think about them standing in front of you, or whatever it is, incident, person, place, thing, and you can feel, just imagine, you can feel the energy being drained out of you. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do this 3 times. The first time, you're going to just repeat after me. Repeat after me. Ready? You're going to pretend you have this is all imaginary now. This is imaginary. You have a pair of scissors. Now you're going to cut the cord. Ready? Snip. Imagine that cord rolling up into them, rolling up into you. And now, say it to them, you'll be fine on your own. I forgive you. And I forgive myself. Now you put them back in the seat, bring something else up on stage in front of you, something that when you think about it, it draws your energy out. Good. Now imagine that umbilical cord. And as you imagine that, imagine the energy being drained from you a little bit. You don't feel too good. You don't like it too much. It's really unnecessary. So we're going to, ready? With the scissors, ready? Snip and watch that cord roll up into them and roll it back into you. Say this. You'll be fine on your own. I forgive you. And I forgive myself. Now, these words are not something you say out loud to them. It's what you imagine. You just simply imagine this. You'll find it a very useful tool. Now, let's do it again. Pick out of the theater anything that when you think about it, it draws you down. It takes you down. You don't want to have that happen. Now, real quick, let's imagine cutting that cord. Snip, watch it roll up into them, back up into you. And then say to yourself, you'll be fine on your own. I forgive you. And I forgive myself. Great. Now, if you have any questions about how to use that, or if you want to hear it again, call me, 372-2929, right back here at Monterey Hypnosis Center, and I'll be glad to share that. But there are 6 basic NLP techniques that only take moments to teach you how to enhance your life. And you can read books on neurolinguistic programming, NLP, neurolinguistic programming. You can read books on that from the floor to the ceiling and really not make sense of it. We have a call coming in. We're going to take this on the speaker phone right now. Hi, you're off the wall live
Larry
on
simulcasted
on TV.
Channel 19, right here on AM 1240 KNR.
This is our welcome call to KNOY listeners. Hi, Samantha.
Hey, Larry, how's it going?
It's going good. How's your day?
Oh, it's fabulous.
This is Samantha. She's down at Cannery Row at the radio station KNRY 1240. What she does at 105, she gives me a call to let me know now that the listeners are live on the radio. Is that right?
That's right. No more hypnotism.
No more hypnosis, because we have people that are listening are driving the cars.
That's right.
And so we wanted to, for those of you that are driving the cars, you just missed a few minutes of a technique of neurolinguistic programming we use that is very easy, and you can call me at 372-2929 and I'll give it to you for free. I'll give you the technique for free. And so, Samantha.
Yes, Larry.
How's it going now? Do you have spots down there at the radio station where people can actually get in touch with you and advertise on your station?
Oh, absolutely.
Like I am?
They can have
reaching
their own
out?
show just like you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how would they do that?
They would just give me a call, 372-1074, or email me at samantha@knry.com.
372-1074.
You got it.
Samantha, KNRY 1240 AM. You know, it's a lot of fun. From October to about a month ago, we were down there at the station on Cannery Row, upstairs there.
Yep.
There's a hallway on the left side of Bullwhacker's restaurant. It goes upstairs to the left. You can go down there and check it out. And it's a cute little studio. We had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, come say hi.
Come say hi. Well, Samantha, thank you for the call.
Thank you, Larry.
And we welcome your listeners.
All right.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, have a great day.
Have a great show.
Hey, thanks. All right, Samantha, KNRY 1240 AM. And we'd like to welcome the listeners. My name is Larry Conti. I am sponsored by my company, Monterey Hypnosis, 372-2929. And I'm also sponsored by a couple of guests that we've had on the radio that have contributed financially to help us be able to be here and expand our viewers and listeners so that we can reach out and help you change your lives. Now, if you're driving the car and you want a contact that we've had on the radio or TV and you want a phone number, call me later, 372-2929, Monterey Hypnosis, and I'll give those to you. Now, we'd like to acknowledge Susanna McGuire from last week. Her phone number again, she's a yoga specialist, 239-2594, deliciousyoga.net. She helped me out last week when I was out of town, and we want to thank her very much for that. She's also made a website for us. Or if you go to Facebook, you can go to Off the Wall on Facebook. And we want to thank Susanna. We also would like to thank, 2 weeks ago when I was here, Chuck Howard, Charles Howard, Howard Electric. His phone number is 241-2019. Now Chuck will come in and give you a free estimate and check out your wiring in your home. And it's like preventative maintenance to make sure that you're safe. Give him a call, 241-2019. You have everything to gain. Let's just put it that way. You have everything to gain by calling him and have him come in and take a look at your electrical. He will do it. He won't charge you a dime. And he knows what he's talking about. He's a great guy. And 241-2019. We'd also like to thank Tom Brick, New Start Home Inspections. Now, Tom also contributed very nicely to financially help us keep going here. And his phone number is 206-3834. Now, Tom does home inspections. He will charge you, although you will know 1,000 different points of what condition your home is in. He doesn't miss anything. He's a military guy, and ex-military, and jumping out of airplanes and things like that, and whatever. 20 years of that stuff. He's very thorough and persistent, and he goes through your home, buying, selling, or if you just want to know the condition of your home, call Tom, 206-3834. And who else did we have? 2 weeks ago, we had Conlon Keeter. Great artist, great decorator, artist. In fact, he can paint a doorway on a wall, and you might walk into the wall thinking it's a doorway. He's that good. Paint clouds in the sky and the ceiling. He can enhance and change the atmosphere of your children's room, maximize their imagination, create all kinds of interesting. He'll give you an estimate for free, as long as it's pretty close by. Otherwise, if he has to travel for an hour, got to cover his gas. And his phone number is 375-4395. Conlon Keeter, Decorative Arts, 375-4395. Now, last week, Susanna had 3 guests on the show, and we'd like to thank them for coming on this show last week. We had Nagai Chiropractic, Dr. Dustin Nagai. He's a chiropractor, and I don't know about the free estimate. I suppose he give you a free estimate about how much it would cost to go get adjusted. His phone number is 277-2671. That's he's a great chiropractor, and he really cares about the condition of your body and will help you. He's not one of those that strings you out forever, unless you like it. Want to be strung out forever? He won't let you do that. He's a great guy. 277-2671. And then we'd also like to acknowledge last week's guest, Charles. Charles from Old World Finishes. Charles Walton. He's a painter. And his phone number is, I'm going to give you his cell phone, 595-5409. Now, Charles has been on the show before with me, and he was on last week, and he is one of the greatest. He'll give you a free estimate. And on painting your home, inside, outside, he painted some of the parts of my home. Very good, very clean, very quick, easy. He knows about all this kind of stuff about paint. New regulations, he's up to date. He'll protect you. His phone number is 595-5409. Also, last week, we had Max Baggett, Baggett Construction. Now, these contacts that I'm giving to you now, are very reliable, very integral. The people that we bring on this show and introduce to you are very, very good contacts. Max Baggett, Baggett Construction, 663-0739. BaggettConstruction.com. Max Baggett, great guy, great construction guy, takes care of everything. Plans, subcontract, whatever the case may be, he takes care of. The guy works with integrity and quality. Whether you're building a deck, remodeling a kitchen, raising the roof in the garage so you can put a new garage door on. As a matter of fact, garage doors, my family, business. Aaron overhead door, 649 door. Mention you saw the show, we'll give you 50% off a service call on a residential door. Free estimates, easy stuff. Give us a call, 649-DOOR. That's 649-3667. Who knows? Maybe if I'm not hypnotizing somebody, I'll come out and look at it myself. I'd be glad to. And so we want to thank Max for coming on last week. Now, all of these people that I have mentioned here today so far are members at BNI, Business Network International. And I'd like to invite our first guest on today, which is Patrick
Ryan.
Patrick Ryan. Patrick Ryan is the president and CEO, president of our local division of Business Network International. And we often talk about the members and guests that come on the show, and we have often invited any of you, listeners, viewers, to come down Tuesday mornings at 7 o'clock at Monterey Pines Golf Course, the old Navy School Golf Course behind the fairgrounds on the corner of Fairgrounds and Garden Road. Come on down there and join us at 7 a.m. for breakfast.
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 o'clock in the morning. We will buy you breakfast. Unless you want to put in $12. Well, I'll buy you breakfast. It's okay. You can come as my guest and tell us about your business. And also, you can meet all these people first. There's 30 of us or so. You can get a good look and meet and shake hands and actually talk with the people that are here and all the different facets of business that we have there. So how do you like being president of this organization?
This is a group of fabulous people.
Yes.
I really enjoy working with them. I enjoy the ability to be able to refer my friends and family to them. This is just a great group of folks.
Yes.
BNI started about 20 years ago or so in Southern California, a fellow by the name of Dr. Ivan Meisner. And he started that first chapter in the LA area. Since then, we've grown to be an international organization. We have several thousand chapters. On an annual basis, we pass millions of referrals, which means billions of dollars to our members. That doesn't mean a lot. That's like, what's a billion? Doesn't mean so much. But what happened in our specific chapter in this last month, we have 30 some odd members. We passed a number of referrals that generated $6,000 of revenue to our members, on average $200 a piece, that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So the whole idea of the organization is to join it, to meet folks who are interested in helping you build your business, so long as you're helping them build theirs.
Right.
It's cool.
It is cool. And, we talk about chapters. Chapters are like, for instance, our 30 membership organization in Monterey, the Monterey chapter. There's a Santa Cruz chapter, for those of you in Santa Cruz that are listening and are curious about how to get involved. You can go to the website, I believe, bni.com, bni.com.
Yeah, bni.com.
And look up your area. There's a chapter in Salinas. There are several chapters up in the Santa Clara Valley. As a matter of fact, we have to have basically a background check to even qualify in our category to be a member.
That's correct.
And I know somebody before I joined a couple of years ago, a year and a half. I know somebody in the Santa Clara chapter that actually was denied their renewal after the first year because of bad referrals from the people that refer them from the BNI. You get a bad referral, you make somebody unhappy. Guess what? You're out. And so we all are very conscientious and passionate about the services we provide and the services we refer. Very important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is definitely about integrity. If you decided, any of you decided you wanted to come visit us at the chapter in the morning on Tuesday mornings, 7 o'clock, we would be delighted to have you.
Right.
There's a couple of kind of general rules that make this thing work, and one of them is there's only one chapter member in each chapter representing a single business group. For example, Max Baggett is our general contractor. Chuck Howard is our electrician, and so on. But there's only one.
Oh, and I am the weight loss specialist and smoking cessation specialist and general hypnotherapy.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And the best.
That's right, and the best. He knows. He's been in my office.
So that's the one thing. The other thing is, you do an application to join as a member of our chapter and of BNI in general. You have to give us a couple of names, and we will check out your referrals.
They do.
And if you're in a business that requires licensing, we'll make sure your licenses are current. So the reason for that is twofold. Number one, it's to protect the people that we are referring to these folks. And number two, it's to make sure that you as a chapter member is comfortable to refer your friends to these folks. You know they're doing a good job. You know who they are. You meet with them every week. And it's just a quality group of folks.
It is quality, yes. And I've been referring all these people since we started radio in October. We started this TV on Channel 19 not that long ago, a month ago. And I've been referring BNI members, as an opportunity for me to help offer what I know and the people that I know in this organization to you. And we want to keep doing that. We want to reach out and try to help you change your lives. It's really a lot of fun. And integrity and background checks, if you make a mistake, if you make somebody unhappy and they give you a bad reference, guess what? You are out.
Could happen.
Yes.
Could happen.
Yes.
So we had a occurrence last week that's kind of typical of the way this works. We had a referral from another chapter, from the Salinas chapter, to a financial advisor. And the woman came in and visited, and it turned out during the conversation she didn't have a will and she didn't have a trust. So there was an immediate referral to our estate attorney, whose name is Carol Jones. And then it also further turned out that she had a mortgage on her house and was paying 7.25% interest, which is way higher than current mortgage. She certainly qualifies for something lower than that. So there's a second referral coming.
And California Mortgage, Brian, he's been on the show.
And there may be more coming out of that as well. And what happens conversely is that these people get good service from local professionals, and they want to help by referring more folks, their friends, to you. So it just kind of mushrooms that way. And it really is a wonderful way of building business without having to resort to any kind of high-pressure tactics or any of that stuff. It's about helping folks.
And it's a lot of fun doing it. Look, Jim Reinhardt, State Farm Insurance, 393-8500. Give him a call. He'll give you a free quote.
Just happen to know
he'll
that.
actually look over your insurance policy and tell you if it's a good one or not, and maybe offer you a better route to go. He will never try to sell you. Jim, State Farm, 393-8500.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's right.
Good guy.
So you're also in a band.
I am in a band.
With Susanna.
Susanna, who you saw last week.
Who you saw last week, yeah. And you'll see more of.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the vocalist.
Yes.
The band is called Infinity and the Jazz Cats, and we play kind of American standard music and a little bit of Beatles because I just love the Beatles. But
What's your favorite
Beatles song? Oh, man, that's impossible. I think I'd say Something, the George Harrison tune.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I want to hold your hand. You know, it makes me think of my girlfriend, Kim. Hi, Kim. Hi, Bryce. Two of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah.
Besides Mom and Dad. Hey, Mom, Dad. So, I want to hold your hand.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like some of the later, in the late 60s music too, but that is so electronic that it's difficult to perform live.
Yeah.
But I like the earlier music in terms of performance.
And Susanna sings them?
Susanna sings them.
You know, she comes on TV and radio here. She sings songs for us, too. Well, maybe we'll talk her into coming next week, a week after, doing it again. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
so
we are going to be at Plaza Linda in 2 weeks. Plaza Linda out in Carmel Valley. That is August 13th, Saturday night, from 7 to 9. And it's sounding like we're going to have a pretty big crowd, so I would recommend reservations out there. Don't know the phone number right offhand, but it's Plaza Linda on Delfino Place in Carmel Valley.
Wow, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
That I would like to add?
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been a BNI member about a year and a half, about the same amount of time you have.
Yeah.
I got elected president or appointed or whatever, and so I've been
got
involved
stuck
in
with
the. I got sucked in, but I've been involved in the leadership.
Doing a good job at it. You must.
Well, we're really having a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. But I got to tell you, I Tuesday morning get up pretty early, go into the meeting room there, get started to set up, and as people come in the door, the energy level that you feel coming into that room is just amazing. And I always leave just happy to have been there.
Yes.
So it's a good environment. I would invite anybody that's listening that would like to come out to please do so. It's really a good environment.
You learn better how to pick up on that energy from being at my office.
That's
I teach
absolutely true.
that kind of stuff too.
Larry, I've been a client of Larry's for a while as well, and we were working on some ways to kind of stay relaxed when you're on stage and all of that stuff, and it works remarkably well.
Remarkably well. And we kind of intertwine that with other things so that you get a whole list of things you want to enhance in your life. Like for instance, we have a testimonial here that I got last night from a lady that I thought I'd read to you in a few minutes. First, though, is there anything else?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty much covered, unless you got more questions about BNI.
Come join us.
Please do.
Please do. And we'll be right back. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
You tried to lose weight, but it doesn't seem to be your fate. Perhaps the way you've gone about it has given you reason to doubt it. There's an easier proven way to lose that weight today.
Just 3 steps
to success.
Drink water and listen
with Monterey Hypnosis.
All right. Welcome back, listeners, viewers. We want to thank Patrick Ryan, who was just on the radio, our president of BNI. I want to give you his phone number. His phone number is 757-6201. And the reason that I want you to know about that, 757-6201, is because he is our financial advisor. and the company that he works with and his position there, I could talk about it. I could talk about it. Refer Patrick Ryan. If you have any questions about your finances, IRAs, safe deposit boxes, your money, call him. Call him, and he'll give you a free estimate. He's a great guy. As you can see, he's a great guy. He's here. He gives himself. He's passionate about what he does. 757-6201. 6201. Give Patrick a call. And we'll get back to this testimonial that I have from one of my clients later. Right now, what we'll do is we're going to join. We're going to welcome Alterra Environmental, James Rector. Now,
thank you.
Say hi, James.
Hello.
And so James and I, James, I've talked about James before because he actually contributed financially to us doing this, what we do. And I've talked about him a few times. His financial bonuses ran out a little while back. I'm waiting for another one. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So he just sends a check every once in a while, and then I talk about it for a couple of weeks, and I forget it, and he does it again, and I talk about it for a couple of weeks more. So we're actually got him here to talk about himself and what he does and how he can really help you out here. Tell us about it.
All right. So
what's your phone number, first of all? Let's get this phone number down. It's a great one to have.
The person to call at our company is David Stearns, and his number is 831-425-2608.
425-2608.
Yes. Yep.
And what is it that you do?
We are a environmental and solar company. So we, for the last 10 years, we really focused mostly on cleaning up the environment. Things like leaking underground fuel tanks, gas stations, or others that have...
How do you know they're leaking?
They find out.
Who does?
There's tests that you do every so often.
Is that what you do?
No, we usually come in from the once there's been identified that there's a problem.
Oh, I see.
And it's about identifying then how to best go and clean that mess up. Usually with an underground tank, there's been a leaking oil, and that oil or gasoline has gone into the soil, worked its way down, and as it works its way down, it can't get back out, and we help pull it back out with different types of technologies to protect the water table from being...
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. So,
and then
go ahead,
from
continue.
that, we got into renewable energy and building performance. What we realized is that we have a lot of people that really understand energy and the way it flows. And we wanted to start to help homeowners, building owners, better understand the way their buildings consume energy and then how they could deploy different types of technologies and services that would then reduce their consumption through conservation, and then would also look at their individual site for creation of energy. So if you think of it in a quick way, we do resource consumption. First we see what you consume, water, gas, electricity. Then we do resource conservation, where we look to see how can you save with what you're currently doing and not really change your behavior. And then how can you create your own solar power, either PV or thermal, possibly wind. Around here, mostly it's solar PV that we do a lot of work with. And that combination then reduces consumption, also reduces costs, often can be financed through that savings. And so we often find our clients giving us no cash and save money on their monthly electricity bill.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yes.
So if you think about what we do, the first thing we do is I have some notes.
Oh, you have some notes there.
We look at two things. If you want to do residential analysis, we look at your first thing we want to do is just get your PG&E bill and your address. And from that, we can give you a synopsis of where is your solar today? How is your potential to switch from PG&E as your primary provider of electricity to solar being your primary provider and PG&E being your secondary provider?
And saving you money.
And saving you money, right. So usually no cash down. If you think about it.
No cash down.
No cash down. We have three interesting ways to finance people that are the best, of course, is we find customers with a lot of cash. It's fun. It's fun for us. We're like, wow, you have cash. that's unique. But since you have it, let's put it to use, and so let's get it from under the mattress and onto the roof is what I like to say.
Yeah.
But that, you can turn caching and...
Well, now it doesn't have to be on the roof.
Right, that's true. It could be on the ground.
It could be on the ground. It could
Right.
be movable.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sun pods.
Sun pods, yeah.
Phenomenal technology. So the key is to look at your bill and understand where you are. You have some of your bill that's 8 cent kilowatts, right? And that's your first base tier. And then it just goes up and up and up. And eventually it gets to 33 cents. And we work in reverse. So we say, hey, let's get rid of those 33 cent tiers.
Mm-hmm.
We can sell you solar for 15 cents, 16 cents. So it's about half. So we can save you about half on that portion of your bill. And often that is the best way to start with solar. And then as you learn more, you can get more depending on what your consumption looks like.
So then, even if your bill is $1,000 a month for your electricity, buying the solar or leasing the solar or financing the solar with you is going to be, you're going to save money.
Yes.
You're going to save, your monthly output is going to be less.
That's right.
And you're going to still have the electricity that you always have had.
Right. Yeah. And basically, you're going to save the earth.
And you're going to save the earth.
You're going
to
to
save the environment.
Lower your greenhouse gas emission, your overall footprint.
Oh.
Really, it does three things for everyone who invests in solar. It increases the equity in their home. If they do decide to sell their house, it reduces the time it takes on the market. And these are all statistics at CAR, or the California Association of Realtors. And it lowers your house's operational costs, which are attractive to someone who's trying to manage their budget.
So you actually care about people's wallet and the environment.
Yes. Yeah.
I heard you talk about this a lot, about how you look out for the environment.
It's our goal.
Yes.
I have a 7-year-old son, and it's very motivational to me to think that I can, put the earth in maybe a little bit better place than where I was when I got here.
Yes.
And I was a consumer,
Yes.
first to admit it, 40 years. I just shifted.
Consumer of what?
Everything. The more money I had, the more I bought.
Well,
it was just kind of the way I used to be. I'm the first to admit it. I realized that hasn't worked, and we need to shift. We need a big shift.
Oh.
Our mission at Altera is to really reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Our main way of doing that is to accelerate the adoption of technologies and services that do that. And so we work with just a great group of green environmentalists and builders who are really into conservation and efficiency first, and then solar creation or other types of creation second, so that it's a 1-2 punch. Reduce what you're doing and then create some of it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You actually have a member on your staff that was a client of mine about 3+ years ago, actually,
really?
when I was down on Franklin Street.
Oh, okay.
He came in for the 1-hour smoking session, and I saw
Right.
him this morning, and
He's still not smoking?
takes an hour.
Right.
Smokers, 1 hour. All it's required is you sincerely want to quit.
Oh, what
Talk
a great
about
thing.
saving the environment. When you inhale that smoke, it burns the fatty tissue of the lung. When you exhale it, then it's now full of carcinogens, and carcinogens cause cancer. Even if you go outside and smoke and come back in the house, you're dragging it back in with you. You shouldn't handle any infants, children. If you're a smoker, do not handle children. Stay away from them. Because you actually are potentially causing them health problems just from your actions. It's not your fault. We all know that cigarette smoking is, it's one of those things that I even did it before, and we got trapped into. Although I must tell you, now that you're listening, and listeners of people that are no smokers, time's up. If you sincerely want to quit, call me, 372-2929. Let's help save your life. And that's what James is also doing. He's helped saving the environment, saving our lives, reducing our money output of our pockets. Do you do free estimates?
We are very excited about people calling us at 831-425-2608. And when they call, what we can do is direct them to send us their usage on PG&E.
Yes.
And give us their address. And
that's all you need.
From that, we can give them an analysis.
How many?
And then we would come out if it worked out, right? If that analysis says, hey, there's a potential here for you, then the next step is to really go out, meet with them, validate how they could best pay for solar, Does it need to be financed? Would they best be with a lease, or do they want to purchase it? And then from there, we lay out, the types of technologies, the panels they would use, the racking, and who should install it, and we put it all together for them. And then Alterra manages that whole process and makes sure then we guarantee our work and the production on those panels for 25 years.
25 years.
25 years. So it's an asset that's around for 25 years. You really want to make sure that you install it correctly, make sure that you've done all the research so that it's going to be around. That's the key with solar, is that once it's done, it should sit there.
So somebody calls you, they send
25 years.
one PG&E bill?
There's a process. We can get 2 years online.
2 years.
So then we can do an analysis of what their consumption
So you can
is.
look it up.
Yeah, we
So
show
it's
them
easy.
how.
It's
Yep.
easy for people to do this.
You just go to a website, put in your meter number, which we can show you where to get on your bill,
Okay.
and off it goes to us.
What do you think about these new meters?
I think they create tremendous awareness. Now, how they're built or the best way to deploy them, I don't want to really get into. It seems like that wasn't really thought out. But if you think of before, when you didn't know how much your refrigerator or your stove or your air conditioner used in electricity, a smart meter allows you to do that. You can turn everything else off, turn that on, and all of a sudden you watch, and you're like, wow. Some of these things are ridiculous. Like an example is floor heaters, which we all use, right? I think our area, it's nice because we don't turn our heat on that often, but on a cold, foggy day, everyone likes to grab their little floor heater by their office and plug that in thinking that's conserving energy, when they're probably one of the larger consumption vehicles you can put in your house that's small, yet it just sucks out the energy. Extremely expensive.
Well, so I understand also.
A lot of education.
Let me know if you know this or not, that those with the smart meters from PG&E, they actually can fluctuate the rate so that when it's the highest usage of a daytime, when everybody comes home from work and they're cooking, actually the cost of the electricity goes up during that time period.
Right.
And that's one of the benefits that PG&E has with the smart meter. They can actually charge more in a heavier usage time and a heavier demand time. Now, if you had solar, it wouldn't be an issue.
Well, and a lot of times with solar, it's really neat. You're able to change the way you actually build from PG&E. And you can choose to have time of use, which allows you to have more control, so that if you're gone during the daytime and your solar's out producing, it's producing at that rate, and they're paying you for that.
Who's
so
paying you?
PG&E is calculating that, and that's what they're paying you for against what you use. So when you true up at the end of the month, if you only use electricity at night, 8 cents kilowatt, and yet you're producing it in the daytime at 33 cents kilowatt.
You mean
you only need to produce a fourth of what you consume to break even on your bill.
What do you mean producing it? Like you sell it back to PG&E during the day when you're not using it?
Right, and they pay you whatever they're charging. Right, so when you're producing it, it's going back into the system. Right, you're tied to the grid. That's called grid tied solar.
Wow.
When you use it, they charge you for it, and then they true up at the end of the month and tell you what your bill is. And a lot of times it's a credit. It's like, hey, we owe you X amount. And what ends up happening is solar is great in the summer, not so good in the winter, right? It has an arc like that. Mm-hmm. Your consumption is more like this. So solar pays less than what you consume in the winter, crosses a threshold in the spring, produces more than you buy all the way to the fall, and then crosses back through that threshold towards the end of the year.
Wow.
It's good stuff.
Free estimate on how you can save money and save the environment.
Yes, so call our great inside sales manager, David Stearns, at 831-425-2608, and we would be thrilled to try and create some awareness and help people out.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you so much for this time.
Really?
Yes, we really appreciate
I'm honored to have you. I'm honored to have you here to put yourself out there and let people know that you're available. This is very important.
It is for us and for all of our staff. We're really committed to this process. Thank you.
And if you'd like to get a hold of James later, 372-2929. If you missed this, call me at Monterey Hypnosis. Any one of our guests will be glad to hook you up with people like James that want to help you. Just want to help you. Cost you nothing to call them and find out. Phone number again?
Thank you so much.
What's your phone number?
It is
425.
425.
2608. 425-2608. Save money. Save the environment. Call them. We're going to be right back.
Thank you.
Monterey Hypnosis.
You try to lose weight, but it doesn't seem to be your fate. Perhaps the way you've gone about it has given you
steps
to success
Drink water and listen
with Monterey Hypnosis.
James is sure a character. You know, he's quite the character, and he's very, very passionate and very sincere about the environment. He's very, very sincere about the environment, and through that, he's found ways to help you save money and the environment. Jeez, what a better deal. What about saving our bodies? What about saving our bodies? And I'm honored to bring Ari Stein, the orthobionomist, to you, so you can actually, he's been on the radio a bunch of times with us on KNRY 1240, and now he's live on the TV with us. Channel 19 Comcast. We're live here Tuesday, August 2nd. It's 1:41 in the afternoon.
2011.
2011. This is going to be replayed on KNRY Wednesday at 1 o'clock, 1:05 actually, Friday at 4:05, and Saturday at 6:05. So you can hear us all again. And Ari has been on the radio with us quite a few times.
About a half a dozen.
About a half dozen times. And it's always been a real lot of fun because Ari and I work on the same kind of area. We work on the area between our ears, between your ears, that actually regulates different things. I work on neurological pathways that control your habits, and we create new ones so that you have new habits, so the bad ones that are hurting you go away, 372-2929. And Ari works on the mind that associates with the body. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Very
I've
close,
been
yeah.
listening.
I work with the systems that for simply control structural balancing in the body.
Right.
So the work's called orthobionomy.
Yes.
And it comes out of osteopathy. It's a way of working with the nervous system to get the body to produce a self-corrective response.
Is that what osteopathy is?
Osteopathy is a discipline of Western medicine. You'll see doctors that have a DO after their names. Uh-huh. And osteopathy started in the late 1800s as an outgrowth to allopathic medicine. They take a structural approach to the body. A couple of the main premises. Structure governs function. The body has innate reflexes to heal itself, and rule of the artery is supreme, meaning blood flow and proper blood flow to all the areas of the body is essential to the functioning of the whole system. And orthobionomy, in the area that I kind of excel at and work with, are pain, injury issues, structural issues, working with senior citizens, working with young athletes, and everybody else in between.
Right. Right. So I had talked to you before about my father. My father has occasionally he gets a swollen hand, and we talked about how the elbow's connected to the knee bone, shin bone, all that stuff. Everything's connected and relative in some fashion. And you had pointed out that there's an area in here, in the chest area.
Oh yeah, the thoracic outlet where lymph drains from the upper extremities, comes up and drains. So if there's impingement in either the tissue or the joint functioning, it will hamper lymph flow. It's going to hamper blood flow. So you may find swelling in the hands, and when those things start to happen, joints start to become locked up, muscles become frozen and tight. So instead of having a nice fluid movement pattern, everything becomes stuck. We lose space in the joints. And
space in the joints.
So like it's just like tightening down a hinge.
Yes.
It starts to grind.
Starts to grind. So for those of you that have a swollen hand or know about somebody that has a swollen hand, you think there's something wrong with your hand, it very potentially could be actually not your hand at all. It's just a result of something else.
Right. Most of our pain is an outcome. Yeah, is the outcome of something else.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's how I view it.
Yeah.
It's like the pain is what we feel, and how we got there can be any number of avenues. And usually it's like sediments in a river. It layers and layers and layers and layers. And the body is so resourceful, and it's able to adapt to our environment that we don't feel the effects until 40, 50 years later.
Right.
But these patterns do start when we're young, and you'll hear people say, my back would bother me now and again, but this time it just didn't go away. And if you start to look back, well, the problem's been there, and either we've taken a Band-Aid to it, or the body finds a way to adjust and allows us to keep functioning. But eventually, the tire goes so bald, it's just always going to shimmy. And in our system, we like to change tires a lot, but the way we work, we like to actually fix the alignment. And in our bodies, the alignment is more of a computer program. It's the software in the brain that's telling everything else what to do.
Brain, the thing between our ears, didn't come with an operating manual.
No, but it knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
We don't get the operating
so.
manual.
We don't get
And
the operating manual.
it operates in spite of us. I mean, just like, for example, our balancing systems, we can't fall down unless we really force ourselves to. And the older we get, the harder it is to play Ring Around the Rosie with our kids. All fall down and just let yourself go. Your body is designed not to do that. And it figures out ways to hold us together. And I don't think it cares that we hurt. I think it cares that we're stable.
I see. So we are pain pleasure driven. And a lot of times we are subconsciously driven to pleasure or emotional relief by eating or drugs or some type of programming that's happened in the experience of our lives. And the body is the same way. Yes?
Yeah.
It gets programmed, and you think you're hurt in an area, and you take some immediate action for that area. Typically, this is a standard kind of thing. Go to the doctor, my knee hurts, you get treated for the knee. And when in fact it could be something else close by, and that needs to be reprogrammed so that the space in there that's jammed up, which is causing the pain to begin with, can be loosened up and freed up so that it can flow and function properly. And this is what you do.
Correct. And the irony of that is the body's doing it for a purpose, which again is more supportive than the pain that it's causing. And that purpose is basically standing up, being a human being. Because we're bipeds. We have to have a vertical spine and a horizontal gaze to our horizon in order to have balance and function. Mm-hmm. And our bodies have certain ways it can organize, and over a certain period of time, due to stress, due to injury, due to overuse, due to genetic patterning, it goes from one operating system to another operating system. And when it defaults to the other operating system, we go from this very nice, extensive, contractive, leverage fulcrum-based system to a statically held system, again with the purpose of maintaining upright balance. And so the body contracts first before it starts to interact. So we lose space in the muscles, we lose space in the joints because everything tightens down. There's a purpose to it. The outcome can be repetitive motion pain. Mm-hmm. We don't like it, but the body doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's a survival mechanism. It's a lower brain functioning. It's very hard to just consciously say, oh, change. Otherwise, when we tell our kids to stand up straight, they would stay there. It's not that they don't want to. It's kind of a habitual thing. We don't think about it. The body just takes over. Mm-hmm. So by the techniques of orthobionomy, by specific exercises, we can retrain muscle and brain how to stay expansive, how to work together as leverage-wise as opposed to being contractive and closing down space and eventually creating pain. That's why when we say old people shrink, everything pulls in. The space in the vertebrae gets shorter. It's a process over time. It doesn't necessarily have to be as bad if we start when we're young. So, old age does start when we're young.
Some of that process of the shrinkage, I think, is a contributory factor to acid-alkaline content.
Mm-hmm. I've read a bunch about that. Yeah, no, we're so multifaceted. I mean, I take a piece of it. I mean, I'm not the only piece of it, but I think it's an important
between
piece.
The two of us, I think we got it pretty well covered.
Oh yeah, that's all you ever need to do is talk to Larry and I. And you'll be good for life.
We'll take good care of you.
we certainly have answers in our area of
our
work.
arsenal. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we do.
And in the area of pain and injury and rehabilitation, even enhancing sports performance and injury
talk
prevention.
About your team there.
Okay, I will. First, I'd like to say a big congratulations, Steve-O Ventimiglia off to Hawaii. He's going to be their starting second baseman. Outstanding job. Looking forward to watching you develop through college. My particular passion is working with young athletes. I'd like to bring my work into Major League Baseball, and I've started at the high school level, volunteering my time for 3 years with Carmel and the last 4 years with the Monterey Toreadors. And the experience has been just tremendous. Mm-hmm. Everybody from myself to the parents to the kids to the school systems have benefited greatly. We haven't had a single repetitive motion injury in 7 years. The 7 teams have combined for a 166 and 55 average record. We've had 7 league championships, 4 CCS championships, 7 kids named all-county pitcher in 7 seasons. And they've learned a lot about their bodies, most importantly. It's like they think we've helped prevent possibly future repetitive motion injuries.
This is what you have helped them do.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's we. It's a combined effort. But this is my passion, and so I work with the teams twice a week during the baseball season, and we just address issues as they come up. Usually, the beginning of the season is getting everybody balanced and healthy again, and then we just maintain that, just like you would take a race car and tune it up after a race, and even after it goes in practices, or you take it out on the track. They bring it in, they say, okay, what's going on? The driver tells it's doing this, it's doing that. The mechanics go in and take care of that. I do the same thing with the athletes. They come in, they tell me what's going on, how they're feeling. We have a baseline already established since we've been working for several months, and we address their issues. And since the systems that we're working with are what maintain structural balance, by basically rebooting the computer every time the athlete goes out to race, right? It doesn't default to that statically held system. It helps maintain that fulcrum system, and that's anybody who golfs or plays tennis or throws a baseball knows their strength doesn't come from big muscles. It comes from the ability to generate force and torque, and in order for that to happen, you need your muscles to fully extend, fully contract in synchronicity with each other to create that whip. And that's all controlled by your brain, but there's other things it needs to do first, which is like hold you together on your 2 feet and then accommodate your action. And again, so you might go a little out of alignment even though you're stretching or exercising. This is, again, that piece that's hard for us to, as individuals, to break the loop to get. So that's where I come in, is being able to put them on a table, help them identify what's going on, through their feedback, and then use these techniques to get their systems to reboot, and they go out and play and avoid injuries. And the results really have spoken for themselves. It's been better than I really anticipated.
I see.
And it's so much fun.
I also, that's really awesome that you do that. You volunteer your time for the kids, and they're getting great results and changing their lives, and we want to help people change their lives in a positive way.
Educate them about their bodies, and I'll also say bring yoga into the school system.
Bring yoga into the school system. Also,
absolutely.
People talk about the mind-body connection. It's a mind-body connection, mind-body connection. Well, folks, it's a form of hypnosis. Anytime you use your imagination, you can imagine a picture in a different part of the room. Look at it now. Look at a couch or a chair or a picture that's in a part of the room. Look in your car. Imagine your jacket or your whatever you got sitting there somewhere else. Just imagine picturing it somewhere else. That's a form of hypnosis called guided imagery. Hypnosis is really very easy. There are many, many techniques. Most people think that, well, I can't be hypnotized. Well, I'm not going to go on stage and cluck like a chicken either. And that's a whole different ballgame.
I'll give you $1.
Okay. So let me read this. You read a testimonial this morning.
Yes, I did.
You did, about one of the clients said that, I would just like to read this because it's really important. Here's a testimonial that I received last night. Although I have never been seriously overweight, I've been struggling with my weight and eating since high school. Now, she's 34. I knew what was good for me, but choosing it was never easy. To add to the problem, I would always eat even more when feeling physically or emotionally unwell. My weight kept fluctuating and getting back into shape seemed impossible. Sessions with Larry, that's me, taught me, first of all, to take charge of my emotions and to deal with them in a healthy manner. Hypnosis helped me look at problems and issues as positive challenges and learning experiences. Further, it helped me identify those situations that had, in the past, led to unnecessary eating, boredom, insecurity, stress, negative thoughts. Knowing what was behind these binges helped me deal with them. Healthy eating habits and exercise have become fun and enjoyable. Finally, learning self-hypnosis, which I do teach, has not only helped me stay on track, I am sure, will always be a great tool in dealing with many challenges life may present. Now, this young lady's married to a gentleman who came to me that was having anxiety and tests in school and very intense training. And in just 3 sessions, we totally eliminated that. And anxiety is unnecessary. It causes. Let's talk about for a moment. Let's just hypnosis is great. Call me. I'll give you a free estimate. 372-2929. I'll give you a free session for half an hour. Come on, it's easy. And arthritis. Let's talk about arthritis for a moment, because really, if you have any questions right now here today, you have just a minute or two left. 375-1919. We may have failed to mention that during this show because we've been having so much fun. But you can actually call, and if you'd like to talk to one of us later, just give me a call at 372-219. Arthritis, Ari.
I want to comment before we do that. One thing about what you said about the mind, and I mean, when they retrain stroke patients, it's a form of hypnosis. They start to use different pathways in the brain.
Yes.
So they retrain the brain to create movement, create speech again. So you're not doing that much different. You're just changing the pathways of how people are associating and processing information.
Yes.
And we do the same thing. Just to deal, arthritis again is a symptom of the body's trying to make sense of keeping itself together.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own personal theories on what arthritis is, but when you can create space in the joints, proper movement again in the muscles, and again get the brain, the balancing system in the brain, our internal gyroscope, to realize how to properly support, then the symptoms and the feeling of that tightness in arthritis starts to dissipate. Mm-hmm. And the reason for the body to produce the arthritis starts to dissipate. They're doing studies and they're learning so much about this now. And these techniques of orthobiotomy, which fall under the larger umbrella of somatic work, that whole mind-body connection medicine, we're starting to see a reduction in symptomology. And symptomology is an outcome we're finding of a greater process. And again, I don't think the body does things haphazardly. It's trying to help itself. We don't like necessarily the outcomes, but it has a need to survive, as we all do.
Orthobiotomy, mind-body connection, literally 915-8870. Give Ari a call. I mean,
Yeah, happy to talk to you.
915-8870. And if you happen to miss that, if you're driving, it's okay. Give me a call at Monterey Hypnosis. I'll hook you up. I send a lot of my clients, in fact, to Ari for why wait? Unnecessary pain. Why wait? We can do a little bit of pain reductions with hypnosis, although, actually getting the joints to get space and flow again. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Go home and tell your loved ones what you're grateful for. And thank you, Kim and Bryce. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.